Greetings, friends. It's Christian here again, coming back to talk to you as we travel through our Lenten journey together to offer you this reflection. This week the theme is peace, and I know that it's not normally a theme, at least not one that I've come across oftentimes in terms of the season of Lent. But I wanted to sort of share with you some thoughts connected to why I felt like we should really attend to this theme during our Lenten journey. The first time we hear about Lent, actually the 40 days preceding Easter, is in the 4th century, actually, at the Council of Nicaea, which is a very important early church council. And they talk about this 40-day period of preparation leading up to Easter, Good Friday, and all the events of Holy Week. And one of the things that the church recommended, as they're talking about it in order to try and regularize this practice of 40 days of preparation, they recommended that churches and communities hold an opportunity where people could make peace with one another before they entered into Lent. And so I was drawn to that theme of peace as a constitutive component of what does it mean to go through Lent? What does it mean to prepare ourselves and to be on this journey with Jesus? And I wanted to just leave with you a couple of thoughts regarding peace, and then maybe like a word of challenge. The first is the biblical concept of peace. Peace is not just the absence of conflict in the biblical tradition. It's really rooted in a Jewish concept that you've probably heard of, the word shalom. And shalom it's much more expansive than just an individual sense of well-being. It really carries with it a connection to community, a sense of wholeness and health in a spiritual, psychological, and perhaps even physical sense, a connection to the creation, the created order. So when we think about the peace that we long for, the peace that Jesus gives, it's supposed to be a foretaste of that peace when God is going to set the whole of creation right. And the second thing really actually flows out of that first notion, this notion of shalom, and that is that that peace carries with it the connotation of our togetherness, that we are profoundly bound together, we're woven together, even when we don't realize it, even when we don't necessarily know one another's names sometimes, we're still profoundly interconnected. And because of that interconnection and because of that longing for peace, the last thing that I wanted to kind of offer to you was sort of a word of challenge, and it's both to you and to me, frankly. And that is that peace is not just something that we wait for. It's also something that we're called to be pursuing, right? Blessed are the peacemakers. And so as we think about peace in this sort of holistic sense of being right with our neighbors, being right with ourselves, being right with God, being right with creation, and we think about the fact that we're bound together, I want to challenge you to think about this week. Is there one thing, one just small practical thing that you could do to affect some new shalom in your life and in the life of those around you? And if you do one small thing, and someone else does one small thing, and I do one small thing, all of that together is going to affect significant change and transformation. And that really is, of course, what Lent is about being transformed and conformed more and more into the way of Jesus. So I pray that you and I will find ways to effect that shalom, and I wish you many blessings this week.